Welcome back! Before we start, we're going to take a deep breath in and then we're going to take a deep breath out. And when we take a deep breath out, I would like you to let go of whatever it is you were thinking about before you got here. All right, let's talk about emotions. I would first like to start off by saying that everything that I share is solely based off of my own experience and my own healing journey, and I don't think that any advice on the internet is ever a supplement for true coaching or therapy or mentorship. So please take all of this with a grain of salt. Do with it what you wills. These are my own personal experiences. The first thing that I want to talk about is how I view emotions and how that's transformed over the years. I've always experienced intense emotions. When I was angry, when I was little, I would get furious. And when I was excited about something,
I would feel like my head was about to explode.
Whatever side I was on, whatever type of emotion I was experiencing, it was always really intense. I attribute that to the level of engagement that I strive for and have always had with life. I'm all in. As I got older, the emotional intensity that I would experience stayed with me, and I didn't always have the skills or the knowledge of my emotions and what they meant for me to harness them in order to work for me. And so they started working against me. And what I mean by this is I would often allow my emotions to steer the ship, if you will. Over the past few years, on my journey of becoming more in touch with myself and who I am, I've established a different relationship with these emotions. The first thing that shifted was recognizing that emotions are signals, teachers, pings of direction, pain points within us that need to be healed or overcome, guiding points. Emotions are always working for us. They're messages from our deeper system, our nervous system, our psyche, our subconscious, alerting us of something, a boundary that might have been crossed, a value that might have been disregarded. And they also signal to us when we found something that we love, that we should pursue. They are the entire richness of being a human. Emotions are the lights on an airport runway, and they keep us clued in about ourselves. Emotions are not rational, meant to make decisions. Emotions are not to be feared. Emotions are not to be avoided. They can't be, because through trial and error, I've learned that
doesn't fucking work.
A few things that I do to keep myself regulated and to keep my nervous system regulated, which in turn helps me process my emotions better. I know my limits. I take time to myself when I need to regroup or refuel. I'm mindful of daily movement to move the energy of emotion and creation and everything through my body consistently to keep things moving, to keep things active. I'm mindful about my nutrition. Certain foods
Trigger the fuck out of me.
Sugar, for example, caffeine, alcohol. I've become incredibly intentional with what I put into my body as I've learned how it affects my moods and my emotions. I also practice cold therapy and cold exposure and heat exposure in saunas and with cold showers and hopefully soon ice baths. What this does is it allows me to be in a stressful situation, physically stressful, and to focus on my breath and to control my ability to stay calm while under stress. And that allows me to expand my capacity to hold myself with intense emotions and to do so successfully without having them
fly everywhere around me.
When I was first discovering and first figuring out how to harness my emotions and wanting to create safety within them and wanting to stay autonomous and express them, I used to think that fully being myself and expressing myself was allowing my emotions to run wild in the name of autonomy. I used to justify and validate acting out on my emotions. Obviously, this was going a little south, but I kind of went from a place of feeling my emotions incredibly intensely and not knowing what to do with them to thinking that being autonomous was just letting them fly all over the place, and that was emotional freedom. And whoever was in the wake of that just got the real me. The next realization that I came to is that emotions are not to be feared. And the only true way to create trust with yourself is to harbor a safe place for your emotions to roam and be expressed. The way that I did that was by making sure that I was regulated and I wasn't putting my emotions out into the world for somebody else to manage or to regulate themselves, but was still allowing their full expression to be seen and heard when they needed to be. What this ultimately did was create a deeper sense of self-trust within me. Harnessing my emotions and being able to take care of them myself has also allowed me to grow deeper in my connections with people. Because I am a safe place for me to live and to exist in all of my forms, I allow other people to be safe with me as well. I have created a safe home for my emotions to express themselves fully. And when they arise, I notice them and I listen to what they have to say. But I don't allow them to run the show in ways that I'm not comfortable with or I don't consent to. There's a lot of freedom here. Our emotions are constantly working for us within our whole ecosystem that is this portal, this vessel. But they're not meant to get in the driver's seat. A huge realization I had and practice that I started to implement when learning about these parts of myself was not identifying with my emotions and viewing them as a separate part of myself. And what I mean by that is if I was experiencing anger, it was common for me to say, I'm angry. You are not angry. You didn't become anger, you're experiencing anger. And I want to stay here for a minute because the importance of this is when you claim something as yours, as what you are, you're creating an identity around it. You're creating an attachment to it. And you're more or less giving yourself to it. What that did was it gave away my power to the emotion, and it more or less put the emotion in the driver's seat. Biggest thing that I would like to get across here is your emotions are constantly working for you, and they are one of the most powerful things about being a human being and one of the most beautiful things. But there's also a way to leverage them to improve your life and to keep you connected to who you are. Be kind to yourself this week. Take it easy. Chill out.